Hi everyone, I'm Bia, and this is going to be a very short episode. I'm just going to give a quick recap of what happened in today's episode of Catherine the Great, the new HBO miniseries that is probably going to be incredible. So, in the first episode, I just want to say first that I found it incredibly amazing. I love the historic figure of Catherine the Great. I really like to read about her, and I really like to talk about her, and she probably represents my favorite moment in history, that is about the um, 18th century, since when Peter the Great got to the throne of Russia to when she dies. That kind of represent the end of the cool part of history, in my opinion. Uh, but I'd like to comment on some stuff. I do not have a script, so this is going to be very improvised. Uh, to be more exact, the episode ended about 1 minute ago, and I'm feeling the extreme urge to talk about it. So, first of all, I would like to say they were in several palaces in Russia that I saw. Um, there was Peterhof and Yekaterinburg. No, that's the name of the city. There is a castle that has a similar name to that, that was built to her. So, Ekaterinburg is a city. I'm sorry. So, also, the first episode opens with she going to the prison where Ivan VI was in prison. So what happened there is that when Anna Petrovna, that was the empress before Elizabeth, that was the empress before Peter, that was the emperor before Catherine, she was the ruler of Russia, but she was acting as a regent for her newborn son, Ivan VI. That's when Elizabeth uh, participated in a coup that took Anna Petrovna down, and she took the power of Russia. And well, she had to deal with that heir that was actually the true emperor, so she simply locked the baby uh, in a tower in an island. And he kind of stood there. He did not receive any sort of education. He was just there. And um, it was one of the greatest worries of Elizabeth, that for some reason there would be a coup that would happen in the middle of the night that would take her out of power. That's why she could barely sleep at night, because she was extremely afraid that something would happen, because all the coups she presents from her coup and other two coups before hers all happened at night. So she had this kind of paranoia. Also, they talk a lot about Paul. Paul is going to be an important figure, I think, because uh, him and Catherine, his mom, always were in conflict. They were extremely different personalities. And in one of the books I've read, written by Robert K. Macy, he says that one of the main reasons why they would confront each other so often is because Catherine never really developed that motherly instinct that you're supposed to get when you have a baby. What happened is that when she gave birth to Paul, Elizabeth, that was the empress at the time, was so excited because she finally had an heir, to make sure that her lineage would continue. Because she had Peter, but Peter wasn't really a strong person, reliable, cool guy, so she kind of needed someone that would carry on, that would make sure that, oh, this lineage is settled. And when Paul was finally born, like a man, a boy, a baby boy, she was so excited that she simply took the baby away from Catherine and left her in their room for hours without anyone to take care of her. She pretty much, oh, you all nurses, let's take this baby away. Yay! And that's what happened. And for the first years of Paul's life, he was stuck in the bedroom with Elizabeth. Elizabeth never had children, so this was kind of her baby now for some reason. And Catherine was just kind of abandoned. Uh, so yes, Paul hates her mother, and he hated her so much that when she died, he uh, created a law, let's say that, that forbid women from being heirs to the throne of Russia, to rule Russia. That's that could be appointed as one of the many causes that led to the fall of the Romanov dynasty in the 20th century. Also, some stuff that I'd like to say, the Orlovs. So, in the first episode, we are introduced to the two of the Orlov's brothers. We're introduced to Alexei Orlov and to Gregory Orlov. Now, I'm not sure which one is the oldest brother, but it doesn't matter. Gregory Orlov was the lover of Catherine, and he was the lover of Catherine when the coup that took Peter III down and put her on the throne happened. They kind of blamed themselves as what the cause of the coup, which is kind of true. The main conspirators were Nikita Panin, that is the guy that she frequently screams at, Gregory Orlov, Alexei Orlov, and another Catherine. Catherine? I don't remember her name. I think it was Catherine or Elizabeth Dashkova, something like that. That was like this great friend of hers, but then they end up fighting because she had like a minor role in the coup, but she thought that she was like a main important piece. So they kind of fought, and yes, their friendship was over. I don't think they're going to talk about this. Um, and well, it does show the fact that uh, they fought Podekin. I don't even know how to pronounce his name anymore because while watching that show, all my beliefs on how to pronounce that dude's name were broken. Potemkin, that's how they say it. I normally say Podekin because it's easier. Just ignore the fact that there is a real random M in the middle of his name and just say Podekin. Uh, that's how I'm going to say most times. And he wears an eye patch now. I mean, Podekin. Uh, okay, I guess this could happen. I don't remember any mentions of an eye patch, and I don't think it is a thing that happened. Yeah, I think that, of course, dramatization. An eye patch is not going to change the main history of the thing. I also enjoyed how they showed the coup that happened to restore Ivan VI to the throne, which was actually very this huge failure that, well, Catherine said, oh, if anything happened, the first thing you do is to kill that dude. And then they did that, and that's it, I guess. Also, I remember the thing that of the guy. So in one of the books I read, it mentioned the fact that he just went as if he believed that the sentence would be changed at the last moment. It didn't really mention that Catherine was the one to do that. So, but dramatization, you know. I also like how they portray Catherine as a strong liberal person, but that is also kind of rude most times, which is actually true. I also like how they mentioned the guy that cured. I don't know how to say the name in English, but the guy who developed the vaccine for this killing disease. She was one of the first monarchs to experiment that vaccine, which is actually very cool. It shows how forward progressist she was in all fields of expertise. Also, the I don't know how to say this, but the ball that happened in the last scenes, uh, that was actually something that was started by uh, Empress Elizabeth. She loved to ride horses and she loved to wear, quote, men's clothes, quote, which is, well, pants pretty much. And, well, she enjoyed with her lovers to make the switching balls, right? Where women would wear men's clothes and men would wear women's clothes. Catherine really enjoyed those balls and she kept it on when she became queen. Now, I'm not sure, it makes sense in a historical sense that that scene would happen. She also didn't really care about how people think. So Pelican were like and her were secret lovers, but they weren't really secret. Everybody knew that she was in love with Pelican. Uh, Catherine didn't really care about what people thought of her. It's something that is very cool. Of course, she had to keep good appearances so people could trust on her and just to believe that she was a good queen and whatever. But yes, and also the scene before she goes to the ball where she's talking with Gregory Orlov, she says that she's writing thoughts. I think that's how she's pronounced it. Thoughts on how to make laws on freedom or whatever, and I'm quite sure that that is the Nakas. That is probably her greatest work. She wrote it based on the Illuminist ideas, whatever, and it is pretty much a manual, a guide on how to make laws that could be fit for the Russian people. So yes, that's pretty much it. I guess I talked for about 11, 12 minutes, and I am happy about it. I really love Catherine the Great, as not love the character because she was controversial, but the historical period that the historical stuff that developed around her, and the fact that she was a great patron of science and literature and art. Incredible. Just incredible. And I'm so glad that people are finally making stuff about her because she is incredibly great. That's what it suggested on her name. And if it wasn't for my own interest on the subject, I would not even know of her existence, which is crazy because I can't really think about how I've been living without knowing about her, which is actually very weird. Yes, thanks for listening. Probably tomorrow or the day after, I'll be posting some more detailed reviews on what happened in this episode, and I'm probably going to post another review on the preview for the next episode. So stay tuned, I guess. Thank you. Bye.